mynews.studio.
Tonight we're looking at what it's like to sit in the cockpit over the Pacific. Not just flying, but leading. How does breaking barriers in the air actually change the way people think about leadership on the ground?
So just to give some context, today's date is June 16th, 2025. Carey Lohrenz, one of the first women to fly the F-14 Tomcat, didn't just break speed records. She faced real pushback from within the system. Do you think her father, being a Marine aviator, influenced her choice to pursue this path?
Definitely, her upbringing mattered. But what stands out most is her persistence. She joined the Navy in the early 90s when women in combat roles were rare and often doubted. She had to show she could handle the demands, physically, yes, but maybe even more so within a culture that kept questioning her. What do you think were her daily challenges?
Well, aside from mastering the aircraft, she was constantly under the microscope. Her peers and superiors weren't used to women in those roles, so every move she made was watched. She's described the cockpit as a place where errors have immediate consequences. But it's not just about individual skills, right? It's how the team holds up together under pressure.
Exactly. In naval aviation, the risks are high. Think about landing a jet on a carrier at night. Lohrenz uses that as a metaphor. You make decisions under stress. You have to trust your team, and there's no space for ego. Her approach to leadership is all about preparation, clear communication, and resilience. But how does that translate to, say, leading a team in a business?
That's the transition she made after leaving the Navy in 1999. She started working with organizations, big companies, small startups, sharing what she'd learned. Her system, prepare, perform, prevail, is based on those Navy practices. Do you think her approach fits with companies facing constant change?
It seems like it does. Executives at places like Cisco and Deloitte say they saw tangible improvements in teamwork and decision-making. The point is, being ready and adaptable aren't just skills for the military. They work in any high-pressure setting. But Lohrenz also goes further. She says diversity and inclusion are at the core of real leadership. How does that shift the traditional view?
She doesn't hold back on that. Lohrenz argues that the best teams aren't built on everyone thinking the same way, but on having a mix of perspectives and a sense of psychological safety. If you only listen to the usual voices, you miss out. So, what does she actually advise leaders to do?
She suggests leaders set clear expectations for inclusive behavior, hold themselves and others accountable for diversity outcomes, and make sure mentorship is there for people who are underrepresented. And it's not about side projects. She says inclusion should be part of everyday decisions. It's turning diversity into a strength, not a checklist. Does that change the way companies see leadership?
It does shift things. Lohrenz's own experience reframes leadership. It's less about rank, more about adapting, building trust, and listening to every voice. Her books, Fearless Leadership and Span of Control, really lay this out. Why do you think her ideas are connecting with so many people right now?
Organizations everywhere are facing fast change and looking for new ways to adapt. Lohrenz's story, overcoming obstacles, leading through uncertainty, and pushing for inclusion, feels relevant whether you're in aviation, business, or even education. Her journey really gives people a way to rethink what leadership can look like.
And it goes beyond just individual success. Lohrenz shows that leading with courage and integrity is possible, even when the odds are against you. That's a message a lot of people can relate to.
Her lessons from the cockpit have landed in all kinds of places, and they're shaping how people think about leadership today.
Thanks for joining us as we unpacked what it means to push past both the sound barrier and the barriers society sets.
Thanks for listening. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. You can try it out for free.